Hello, welcome back to the What is K-pop podcast. So today we're talking about VANNER. If you haven't heard about them already, they were on a TV show called Peak Time, and they won, meaning that they got money. Where am I going with this? Hi, my name is Sophie. I run this podcast. I've been a K-pop fan for 4.5 years now. Started with BTS and then kind of went from there, pretty much. Yeah. If you want a full rundown on when, like the full story, check out the episode that went out on my birthday, the 26th of August. But I will be doing a fun little updated one. VANNER, 5-member South Korean boy band thingy under VT Entertainment, consisting of Taehyun, Gon, Heesung, Sungkook, and Youngwan. They had pre-debut promotions in Japan, but they debuted on the 14th of February 2019 with their first full-length album V. And they made their Japan debut in October 2023, and they did announce on the 4th of May 2023 that they would be under Clap Entertainment for the next 3 years. However, literally, this is on the day that it's been announced. On the 26th of April 2025, it was announced that their partnership would be coming to an end on the 31st of May 2025, which is probably when this episode is going to go out. So, obviously, we don't know why they cut ties a year before their contract would have come to an end. I guess, this is just a guess, they could potentially be starting their own company, or another possibility is that they are going to be disbanding, which I don't want that to happen, considering how much they've been through with not being able to, having to have part-time jobs whilst trying to do idol stuff, the members taking quite a lot of responsibilities for the group and stuff. Like, I always want all groups to succeed, or at least be able to stand on their 2 feet. But obviously we can't always get what we want, unfortunately. So whatever kind of happens to them in the future, I do hope that they are happy in their company and with the group still. So I will be keeping an eye out on that. So the group means a combination of the words banner, flag, and victory. The name means that the members will go on to the top of the music industry and plant the flag of victory. I do sometimes genuinely wonder what goes through these companies' heads to make like a name choice like that. No hate to the members or anything. I'm sure that they will want that too, but I'm like, realistically, if we're gonna be proper about this, not many small groups tend to make it that, success is really subjective. And if we're talking about the idea of their songs going on Billboard 200 and that being successful, then yeah, loads of groups have done it. But if it's at the top of the 200 charts, or they reach mainstream success like BTS did, that's a kind of a one in a lifetime sort of situation. And I sometimes wonder if these groups are kind of doing it with the hope of that they will reach that success, but realistically knowing that they won't. Or if they are so, I don't want to say delusional, because that's mean, but they have so many pairs of rose-tinted sunglasses that they almost can't see the fact that, they're going from a small company into a big pond of lots of new groups that don't tend to be successful. Yeah. The reason I'm going in harsh about that and saying what I'm saying is that I've talked about a lot of groups and stuff over the past year or so that I've been doing this, and VANNER is always kind of stuck out as one of those groups that yeah, they're there, yeah, but also they're not, none of their music, I couldn't list a song of theirs, We have a group called Maka Maka, which I did on my New Goodum series. It's I haven't heard of that group. So that one was even less popular than VANNER is. Are these companies kind of hoping for a BTS kind of situation? Question mark. Are they hoping for that? Because if so, then like good on you. At least you're trying. You never know how. You never know if like you're gonna strike lucky. It's like BTS came at just the right time, I think, and I don't know if their success could ever really be replicated. Like what I mean by that is a small group from a very small like a small company group being able to first of all top charts in Korea, but then go on to be extremely successful internationally. Like, is it kind of wishful thinking? I hope not, because your chances are you're probably going to get your hopes let down, but I don't know what the other possibility would be. So Vanna's fandom. I swear I do actually like the members of this group. I swear I don't hate them. I know it can seem like it sometimes from where I'm going with a sentence, but I swear I don't hate these people. So the fandom name is VVS. Stands for very, very slightly. It's in reference to the clarity of diamonds. These types of diamonds are very rare and very expensive, and it means that their fans are valuable to VANNER. That's cute. Yeah, I guess I could say the same if there's people who listen to my podcast. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm grateful. I get to do this. Yeah. First member we have is Taehwan. Lee Taehwan. He is the leader and main vocalist, born on the 15th of January 1994, making him a Capricorn and a Rooster. It doesn't say where he was born, fair enough. He was a rumoured 17 member as he was a Pledis entertainment trainee. And during their tour in Japan, he was hospitalised and sent back to Korea to be looked after by specialists due to tonsillitis, which is very unfortunate. I had that one time when I was in school. Yeah, that was interesting. Doesn't say where he comes from, which is fair enough. But he was born on the same day as Hyungwon from Monster X. Also doesn't say when he did his military service, which he was 25 when he debuted, so I guess it must have been before he became a member of VANNER. Next member we have is Gon Lee Won-seo. He is a vocalist, main rapper, and main dancer, born on the 7th of August to 1995, making him a Leo and a pig. And he has siblings, but it doesn't say how many. He was meant to be the group's dance trainer, but the company asked him if he wanted to be in the group, and he said yes. Oh, so his sister lives in Ireland. And he has a tattoo on his forearm saying, "We're going to be what we are. We were born to be." Why can't I click on my tabs? He lived in Wisconsin for some years. He's already done his military service. His favourite food is tteokbokki, and he likes pizza over burgers. I have to agree, like burgers sometimes is a bit too much, but like pizza, I don't know why, but it like has a special place in my heart. Like there's a brand called Dr. However you pronounce it, in the UK, and they do a range of pizzas called Ristorante, and obviously I don't eat, well, when I was younger I didn't eat tomatoes that much because of a incident. But I always used to love it when we would have the margarita cheese pizza, because they have like really, really thin crusts, and for me my favorite type of pizza are thin crust pizzas. Like I don't like super duper like bigged up pizzas or stuffed crust pizzas, because I'm like, why is it being cooked properly, fully? I don't know. Or another type of pizza, just completely different brand, Chicago Town pizza. They're like deep dish pepperoni, like mini pizzas, really nice. But no, we used to get Ristorante pizzas, and I believe they had a vegetable one, or I think it might have also just been like Tesco own brand. And one time we went to a different town. We went to the big Tesco, bought 3 vegetable pizzas, and we ended up going, I don't know why, but we ended up going to the Audi car dealership, and we were there for like a good couple of hours, and it was a warm day anyway, and the pizzas were in like a cooler bag, so by the time we actually got out, the pizzas were half defrosted, and my mum was like, oh, we're gonna just have to cook them up as soon as we get home, and I was like, I would not eat that, absolutely not. And obviously I didn't eat it anyway because I don't like the pizzas. But yeah, I love how that was just a side tangent on my pizza preferences. Next member we have is Hye-sung, Park Hye-sung. He is a lead vocalist and lead dancer, born on the 17th of January 1990, a Capricorn and a pig, and he was born in Daejeon, South Korea. He has an older brother, and he taught Minhyuk from D-Crunch, which is a disbanded group, in dancing. He did enlist on the 17th of October 2024. Wait, it was announced that he would be enlisting, sorry. He enlisted on the 4th of November. However, it was announced on the 9th of December that he had been admitted to the military hospital due to pre-existing panic and mental health disorders. And then on the 16th of December, it was announced that he would be discharged from military service due to a medical exemption, which is unfortunate. Obviously, we do want him to come back as like fans. Like fans want their idols to not have to go to military service, but there is a sense of like, jeez, that was an aggressive bird. Bloody hell. There is that sense of national pride within doing military service, and obviously it isn't really a thing that we have here in England, but people who have served are currently serving and such, there is kind of that level of respect that you have for them, especially obviously during Remembrance Day, because it is like that time to recognize these people and their hard work. But no, South Korea definitely has a lot more of a respect for like their insistence on everyone who can do the military do their military service is a lot higher. And I can't imagine what he must have felt, Hye-sung must have felt, when he tried to do his military service but then got discharged for his mental health, because it's something that, like, I guess boys are prepared for from a young age. They're told that, oh, when you're 18, or at least like when you're an adult up until the age of 30, you're going to have to go away for a year and a half or more in some cases and do this service, this thing for your country. And I imagine it's like something that you're often taught about in like high school, explains like what you do and such, and it's like definitely a sense of national pride. And I know that from what I've seen from like Sung Chol from 17, he got exempted like pretty much just before he was meant to go and serve because of his ACL injury, and loads of people kicked off about him. And there was so much discourse about BTS going to serve their military service and about whether or not they'd be exempted because they're BTS. And it was almost like a lot of Korean netizens were willing to hate these people if they didn't serve. So I wonder if, like, obviously it would have also have been Hye-sung's choice to some degree if he was to carry on. And I imagine that perhaps he might have wanted to continue to do it because of that sense of pride for doing, that thing that every man does, or basically every man does, in South Korea. But I do hope he is feeling better though. I know from personal experience that like mental health, oh my god, it's almost worse than like being physically injured, because at least you can see the physical injury, but when you're like having a mental health issue, it's a lot less visible. Oh yeah, I hope he's doing better. Next one we have is Sungkook. His former stage name was Asheon Park Sungkook. He is a lead rapper even, born on the 10th of March 1996, making him an Aries and a rat. And he was born in Sambon, South Korea. He has an older sister. He can speak Korean, Japanese, and English. His favourite song from 17 is Our Dawn is Hotter Than Day. Same. It is amazing. He changed his stage name from Action to Sungkook on the 1st of July 2023. He enlisted as an active duty soldier on the 7th of May 2024 and is expected to return on the 6th of November 2025. And last but no means least, we have Yongguang on Youngjun, vocalist, visual, and mechanic, born on the 22nd of September 1997, making him a Virgo and an Ox. He was born in Seoul, South Korea, and he has an older sister. He can speak Japanese as well as learning Chinese. Just gonna put up his personal profile so I can. He actually regrets not doing his military service before debut. I mean, like, fair enough. I would always say that doing your military service before you become an idol will always kind of be the best thing to do so that you have it out of the way. And I think from like a company point of view, you should actually have it like they should have it as a clause within like the trainee's contract. If you become a trainee before the age of 18, like once you turn 18, you've left high school and you haven't debuted yet, you do your military service then. You still are a trainee and such, but you don't have to like do the training stuff. And then like you carry on training. Like I think it should definitely be something that all idols should do before they actually become idols. So then we're not having a Monster X situation where in which they've not put out music for over 2 years because a lot of the members are doing their military services, and they won't even be a full group again for another like year and a half, more than likely, because Chankyun, the youngest member, still has to do his military service. And we have like 17 now. They are in their military service era, as it were, with Jonghan and Wonbu now serving. Like I really do think from like a fan point of view, and also for the idols to say like, you need to do your military service before we let you debut, so then we're not wasting the fans' time or we're wasting your time, and that you can complete your service like potentially as like a military soldier, and like the fans aren't necessarily going to judge you for what type of service you've done, because also idols tend to get like hate for doing like public service, which I don't know why, or in cases like Hyesung, he got hate for like being discharged early. Like it's almost like a can't win sort of situation. So yeah, I definitely do think that like trainees shouldn't start training until they're at least 17, and then not debuting male trainees shouldn't debut until after they've done their military service. I'm shedding hair. It's actually horrible. But yeah, that has been VANNER. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was weird. Chaos, the usual level of weird. But yeah, thank you as always for listening, and I hope to talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.